Oh, I got to turn the camera on. Hold on. My camera went dead. Hold on. It didn't go dead. Here we go. Sorry, guys. What an idiot. I am an idiot. There we go. There we go. Oh my God. What an idiot. I apologize. I apologize for that, guys. I swear it has not been, well, nothing bad has happened, but I assume by turning off the main Logitech control board that it was, I don't know. I don't know what I assumed. But anyway, back to business. Camp closing in, position battles at the forefront. So many new faces, so many unanswered questions, so little time to get those answers. And within all that, you're hoping everybody stays healthy. Within all that, you're hoping nobody's play slips. You're hoping it's as a result of everybody playing well and they have to make tough choices as opposed to super easy ones. But well, maybe somebody's playing so good they can just make easy choices. But with that being said, obviously, offensive line. Offensive line is the one area that everybody's going to look to and say, hey, those are the top position battles. Let's try to delve a little outside of it. It's easy to look at offensive line. I know that's all. Honestly, that's all I'm going to be looking at. But in this instance, we're just looking at other positions. For me, tight end. Tight end is a position we all know the Bills have pretty not a great history in, not even an okay history. Uh, I think that's a position where the Bills, as an organization, need to get with the times, and they've needed that for a really long time. That's the position I'm going to be looking at on offense, sans the offensive line. Everybody else will say running back. I think the way that they've constructed running back is they're going to go by, we're going to ride the hot hand. Whoever the hot hand is, if it's Shady, if he's there, they're going to ride Shady. If it's Gore, they're going to ride Gore. If it's Singletary, they're going to ride Singletary. So whoever the guy is that week, that's who they're going to go with. Or in game, that's who they're going to go with. They're not going to play favorites in the backfield. That's the way I look at running back. But tight end, to me, is the one position that it's going to do a lot of things for this offense. Dable he was so hamstrung last year. It was killing him that he didn't have a tight end available to him that could really make a difference. And I am one of the few, I don't know, maybe you guys do. I like Jason Kroom. I know he got a lot of stink for the fumble. I constantly bring that up. It was a little bit gutting. Maybe it would have tipped the game, would have put the Bills back in the game a little bit, would have made things interesting at the end in New England, but it happened. He made a mistake. But I think he brings a lot to the table, as well as everything we've heard about Dawson Knox. Again, no pads, no helmets. Well, helmets, no pads. So how much can you extrapolate from that? I hope the guy turns out to be what everybody thinks he can be. From everything you hear, firsthand accounts, the way he moves, I've said this so many times that just please give me a guy at tight end who can catch upwards of, minimal 50 to upwards of 70, 80 catches. That's a big variance, 30 catches, but you need that. You need a guy who can give you almost wide receiver-like production at the tight end position. And, anywhere between 7 to 950 yards and anywhere between 5 to 9 touchdowns. That's what you need at that position. And the Bills haven't even sniffed it. And I'm talking about subsistence level. I've noticed my farmer's tan a lot. Like, I didn't realize it was this bad, but I've noticed it in the video. Jesus Christ. That's what I get for wearing short sleeve shirts in this horrible humid weather. It's Saturday, Sunday. See, this dehydration, man. I was really messed up the last few days. That's, I guess, why I'm so off. But I really hope that position, somebody comes to the forefront. But if you speak of that position within the division, there's a lot of question marks. I mean, what the Dolphins did in the draft last year under a different regime, if you will. They added Dwayne Allen for an okay amount of money, more in a leadership role for Brian Flores. They had some other guys from the draft last year. None of them really came to the forefront. The Jets just had Herndon suspended from 2 games to 4 because the woman in the accident was injured. So that leaves a huge hole for them. There's not much behind him at all. New England, which was an area of superior strength for so long for them, obviously with Gronkowski, but even their secondary guys were good. Forget about when they had Hernandez. It just even their second tier guys seem to get burned and make hay. But now Watson being suspended for 4 games, they released Austin Seferian-Jenkins. His off the field issues are just continue to creep up. Has a hard time keeping himself together in that regard, unfortunately. So they're really, they traded for the tight end from Detroit, Roberts. They had to release him because he failed a physical. So they're really trying to patchwork that position. I don't know if they drafted anybody, but that's that was a long-standing strength security blanket for Brady that is no longer there. And I think obviously just the way their roster is constructed, looking at it, it's going to be a lot more wide receiver centric in the passing game because none of these tight ends really move the needle for me in terms of fear factor. I mean, Andrew Beck, maybe he had some decent measurables at the combine, but outside of that, really nothing to speak of. But on defense, I think you're just looking at backup roles, sub-position roles in position battles. Maybe a Saron Neal taking over for Raphael Bush, a younger, more athletic guy in that position, nickel corner, big nickel, if you will, like sub linebacker type of guy. Blitzed really well. I know the sack against Aaron Rodgers stands out a ton. So we'll see the third and fourth, who are going to be the third and fourth, possibly fifth defensive ends, who's going to be the fourth defensive tackle. Well, it's pretty much set in stone. You've got Ed Oliver, you've got Starr, you've got Phillips, and you've got his name's escaping me right now. Well, Phillips, sorry, there's 2 Phillips. That always, but I don't know how many defensive linemen they'll take in. 9. I think they'll have 9. So on defense, it's all backups. That's the only position battles you're looking at is backup position battles. I think Teron Johnson will be the nickel corner. I honestly think Levi Wallace will hold the job at corner. I think he'll hold it. And I think EJ Gaines will probably be the top backup at both corner positions. I know he has injury history, but Kevin Johnson's injury history is a lot more. It's a lot longer than Gaines, believe it or not. So I don't know if I can count on a guy like that. The idea of him is nice, catching a former first-round pick on the cheap, getting a lot of production out of him. But I don't know. If he comes up lame sometime in the preseason or in camp, I'm not going to be shocked at all. But all the position battles are on offense. They're on offense. For me, running back is just going to be a by committee hot hand position. So who's ever doing the best is going to get the run there. Offensive line, we all know. But to me, the one that's really going to make one of the biggest impacts, because it relates to the run and the pass game, and they've had such crap production out of that position for a long time. No really organizational history of it being great, if not above average, is tight end. And we need Dawson Knox to do that. We need somebody to do that, whether it's a solo job or as a group. I really hope that they can. There goes Ramius. I really hope they can get that position to be a strength of this team as opposed to a revolving door. That's what it's been for way too long. The investment in Charles Clay, obviously, from the get-go, it was never going to be fulfilled, but it really fell off the cliff the last year and a half, and we all know that. His injuries they were never going to allow him to do anything even close to what he possibly could have before them, and I think they knew that going in with that chronic knee. he injured the knee in Seattle, not Seattle, Cincinnati, 17, and that was it. That was pretty much it for him. Remember, he had that big catch against Atlanta. Tyrod scrambled and just chucked it deep, and he caught it, changed up the game. So yeah, I really hope that position comes out. And then waiver claims. They claim 9th. That's a hell of a lot higher than 22nd, well, 21st last year's waiver claim position year before last. So they're up to 9th. They're going to get a guy. They wish they probably could have been that high the year before last because of the way their roster was. Their roster was in pretty rough shape from a depth standpoint. So they're going to be able to get a guy that they likewise couldn't have gotten on the waiver wire this year as opposed to last year. So there's going to be one or two guys, and I'm just curious what those positions are. I don't write off any position, to be honest with you. I don't even write off offensive line, even with the glut of moves that they've made there. If they see an offensive lineman floating out there in a backup role that they like better than one that they have, they'll take them. Any position, a corner, a linebacker, a defensive lineman, anything. That's the way I look at it. So that's pretty much it. There's really no other way till they start in 12 days. They go out there they're only there for such a few. Wow, this is such a short camp. I don't even know if you can call it a training camp. I think it's more of like a press tour. I think all their real work is going to be done behind closed doors. They only have a handful of public practices. They only just do a little bit of stuff at St. John Fisher, then they're back at One Bills Drive. They don't want to leave that facility that they just built, and I don't blame them. I think like 10 teams go away for camp anymore, like 10. Then they go down to Carolina for like a week. So and I really hope nothing happens down there because the weather down there is brutal. It's humid as hell everywhere, but down south of the Mason-Dixon line, it is treacherous, and I really hope that they're on their P's and Q's hydration-wise because I don't want to see anybody pull, tweak, or tear something in that goddamn heat. That's please. So, guys, I'm going to jump over here. It's Sunday. I just took a shot, see if anybody was on. If anybody watches this after this, hope you all have a good one. Have a great Sunday. Have a great start to your week. A safe start to your week. Enjoy. Go Bills. I'll probably do a video or two pre-recorded and just throw it on just for some opinions and back and forth. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care and go Bills.